Sarah Grandy. This is my critical assignment video. So my lesson plan, it's the sport lesson plan is volleyball and the skill is blocking. So my last plan was spiking. So at the end of this video, I'm going to tie those two in together with the game activity. So for my two lead-up games, I've got two different activities. So I do have a volunteer here. Her name is Sarah, along with mine, Sarah G. So we are going to throw the ball against the wall and then block. And then we're essentially going to do the same thing, except being the teacher, I'll throw it to her, she'll block, she'll throw it to me, I'll block. And then the game activity is called beach ball volleyball. My standards that I went with for this sports lesson was high school course 3C 1.6, 2.5, and 3.4. And they all integrate and talk about independent and dual activities, which I have incorporated into this lesson plan. So the dual activity for the lead-up game for this particular plan is her and I working together, throwing the ball against the wall. And then the model that I would use to teach this plan would be peer teaching, because essentially, you know, one teacher can't walk around to every single student and teach them how to do it. So she'll help me, I'll help her throughout this this activity. And then the other lead-up game would be the teacher, me, throwing the ball to the student and then blocking the ball. So in that case, I would use the PSI model because the student will essentially learn on their own the form and the best way to block the ball for themselves. And then the equipment that I would need are for the entire lesson plan, not just these two lead-up activities in the game, but the entire lesson plan will be 5 balls, 6 dodgeballs, 4 bowling pins, a whistle, sound system, laptop, 20 volleyballs, and then 1 large beach ball. Okay, so we'll get started. So Sarah J, when you block during a typical volleyball game, you want to jump right before the spiker jumps. So you're going to bend your knees, and then when you come up, your hands are down, and when you come up, you extend right past your ears to the width of the ball with your hands. And then when you land, of course, you land softly. But in this instance, since we're so close to the wall, you don't necessarily have to jump. You just, you know, bounce, bend your knees, bounce up, and block. So do you want to go first? You can go first. Okay. You make throw it. All right. Block. Okay. We'll do it a couple more times. There we go. That's awesome. Good job. Bending your knees. You're doing great. Good. Great. That's awesome. Bring your arms down some, and then whenever you come up, extend them more. Okay? Good job. That's awesome. Okay, my turn. I'll go. All right, I hope I'm as good as you at this. Okay. Oh, I jumped. That was good. There you go. Yeah. 2 or 3 more times. Wake up your kid. All right, one more time. All right, good deal. Now we're going to move on to where I throw the ball to you, or we'll block that way. Ready? So in this instance, this is where we would use the PSI model. So she can figure out what form works best for her. I've done the instruction, I've taught her how to do it, and then at this point, the learner takes it into their hands in this particular model. Okay? Good job, that's awesome. Okay? Good job. You play volleyball, huh? All right, one more time. All right, we'll sit down.
Good at throwing it.
Here. Okay. All right, good deal. Thank you so much. Whew. All right, so for the actual game activity, it's beach ball volleyball. So it's essentially a volleyball game, except it is with a beach ball. I'm gonna really put emphasis on spiking and on blocking. So we're not gonna take score. So that's the case where it's not an actual game. It's still a learning activity. So we'll have the net loose. I obviously don't have a volleyball net here, unfortunately, but I would have the poles come in slightly close so the net would go down, and then I would have them work on spikes and blocks. I would throw it up because we're not working on setting or passing or anything like that. So I would set it up, I'd throw the ball up. The one on one side can spike it down, or they can decide to immediately jump up and block it while the other team spikes it down. So that would be my game activity at the end. Of course, it's fun. It's still a learning activity. So that's it. That's essentially my volleyball unit, my blocking unit.